We have a very special guest tuning in from Brooklyn, New York. It's Anila. Anila is an MSGA graduate from NYU. Now she's an associate director of her alma mater, New York University Center for Global Affairs, and a current part-time MBA student in NYU Stern. I've often called your life my American dream, a meaningful career, growing family, and the non-stopping education opportunity for your personal and professional growth.
I could be every color you like.
Welcome to Esther Nuna's segment, Basic Busan Baby in America, Anila.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So we call someone who went to the same school prior to us 선배님 in South Korea, showing respect to our senior. You're my senior. So while you're my academic advisor and you're also my 선배님.
That's very sweet.
Why don't you tell the audience about yourself?
So I have a background in the nonprofit sector for the past 10 years in media and more recently in higher education. Currently, I'm the associate director at NYU at the Center for Global Affairs, which is the program that I graduated from. I have a master's from there and previously did a BA in Latin American Studies. So it's been a winding path, but it is nice to be working at the program that I graduated from.
Can you explain more about NYUSPS and CGA to the audience?
Sure. So SPS has a number of graduate and some undergraduate degrees, as well as non-credit class offerings, certificates, etc. The Center for Global Affairs, we have two graduate programs. One is a Master's in Global Affairs, which is the program you're in. And then we also have a Master's of Science in Global Security, Conflict, and Cybercrime. That's a newer program. We're now in our second year of offering that program. But both of these programs are very much hands-on, interdisciplinary. We really value theory to practice, so giving students the theoretical framework, but also the practical skills that they then would need to go on and work in these industries.
A lot of people are trying to think about postgraduate, the OPT era. Is GSCC a STEM?
It is a STEM program, so that's really valuable, especially for international students that want to come and then spend a few years working here.
Can you tell us 8 different fields? For example, I know that mine is international law.
So you have 8 concentration areas: IR and global futures, transnational security, peace building, energy and the environment, global gender studies, international development, global economy, and human rights and international law. And in addition, we have 3 specializations. These are newer. So we have a specialization in data analytics, one in the United Nations, and a newer one in global risk.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. Like, it keeps getting better, right? NYU has so many different parts of schools and studies. And how does MSGA differ from MA in IR and MPP from Wagner?
I would say the master's in IR is maybe a little bit more theory focused, whereas we're very much theory to practice. So SPS offers a number of professional graduate degrees, as well as a few undergraduate degrees. Our master's in global affairs is our flagship program. And it really is an interdisciplinary program. Students do have the flexibility. Let's say you're very much interested in law. You could go to the NYU School of Law and take a class there. So there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. So you mean that if you were enrolled into MA in IR, it'll be more theory-based. But since MSGA is more practical and it's prepping you for the real world, right?
I think you can get some practical education also in the IR program, but, it is a more traditional path, for people that are interested in being academics, depending on your concentration area.
I could be every color you like.
Stern is known as one of the best business schools, and many Koreans have heard of it too. And you're currently an MBA candidate in Stern yourself too, correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm in my second year now.
Could you share more experience of what it is like to be a part-time student, comparing between full-time students and part-time students, and how does it hold up its reputation to the best business school ever?
Sure. Well, I've really enjoyed it so far. For part-time students, everyone in the program is also working full-time. So they're coming from a range of industries, and that really can add to the classroom experience because you're getting to hear from your fellow classmates about what their experience in business is like. One of the great things is it's a big program, but you're assigned to a block. So, I'm in the green block for my year, and I've developed relationships with people in that program that are really great. And even though we're not necessarily in class together anymore, we still maintain those relationships.
It's
so
like sorority and fraternity. You have
it helps cultivate, connections in a very big program. Of course, all of NYU is here in New York City, downtown. So the access to industry is amazing. There's incredible professors. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening at Stern.
Do you think Stern, like NYU CGA, prep you to be a real world professional? Like as soon as they graduate, can they work?
I think so. Yeah. A lot of core classes as part of the Stern curriculum in financial literacy, leadership, statistics, global economy, et cetera. Then there's also lots of hands-on learning as well. So, whether you're interested in marketing, fashion, or sustainable business, there are, I think, maybe 15 specializations. So there's opportunity to really narrow down and look at your particular areas of interest.
So how many people have been enrolled and what is the ratio, faculty to student ratio and international student rate?
So the faculty to student ratio, it is something like 1 to 15, on average, probably. So you will definitely get to know the faculty members, and they also are very willing to meet with students outside of the classroom. They generally have an open door policy and are willing to advise with students and meet them. And then in terms of international students, we have about 30% international students from all over the world. People come with a range of backgrounds. Some come straight from undergraduate degrees. Others maybe have a few years of work experience. And then some maybe are mid-level professionals who are looking to advance their career. So it really is a diverse audience, which is great. It really adds to the classroom experience.
Has it been difficult for all the F-1 visa holders, international students, to go in and out of the countries?
You mean during COVID?
Yeah, during COVID.
Yes, definitely that has been an issue, which is why we've had remote classes. We've had a couple in person, but many remote offerings because, embassies were closed down for a while. But it is kind of nice to have the flexibility of online learning. Students are dialing in from all over the place.
That's amazing. With the unprecedented pandemic affecting every country in 2020, in the Asian continent and New York, America, everywhere, the importance of global affairs is vital than ever. And how do you think this particular field of study is going to span out down the road?
I think COVID has shown that international cooperation is imperative. For example, with the vaccine rollout, you can't just have one country citizens get vaccinated because then the virus can mutate in other people and then come back and the unvaccinated people would be susceptible. So it really does require governments work together, scientists work together. I think it's more important than ever. And, it will continue to be a very impactful field. I think we'll continue to have a lot of students interested in this area.
I could be every color you like.
Anila, if you go back to 2007, knowing that what you know now, do you think you would have still chosen NYU?
I think so. I love being in New York. It's such an amazing city. Although things have been kind of shuttered for the past year, I think it's going to bounce back. It's a great place to be in terms of your academics. There's every kind of industry here, from the UN to big banks, nonprofits. So there's a lot of opportunities to connect professionals as students. No city like it.
What would you tell the next Anila or your younger self who is struggling to see the light at the moment? What would you say?
Good question. I would say that for most people, finding your career, it's a winding path. There are ups and downs, and your ultimate goal might not always be clear, and that's okay. Part of it is the journey, learning about yourself. So don't stress it too much.
And you're the living proof. Do you feel like you've made it now?
No, I wouldn't say I've made it, but I have a good job. I have good work-life balance. I get to study at NYU because of my job. I get to live in New York, so there's definitely a lot of perks. But, there's always more to do.
There's
Yes,
always room to grow and develop yourself and impact the world, right?
definitely.
Anila, thank you so much for tuning in from Brooklyn. I know it's off hour for you as a mom. I'm sure that you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like from your knot, I feel it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Esther.
Bye.
Bye.
As a person who is specialized in data analytics and CGA, I could also take classes from NYU Stern that preps me for the coding classes and palpable skills. Students can always just mix and match, just like swimsuits from Target.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's an added value of being at a big university that has a lot of great programming.
I could be every color you like.